Central to the history of psychological experimentation is concern for ethics. Psychology's history of controversial experimentation methods spurred the creation of protections working in the benefit of participants. Following the cessation of World War II, the world was shocked when the publicly aired Nuremberg trials exposed the horrific nature of Nazi concentration camps. Brutal human experiments and shocking abuses of prisoners were committed by countless Nazi soldiers and guards. The public was baffled by these abuses, and psychology set forth to uncover the underlying mechanisms behind influence over others. Stanley Milgram's 1963 obedience to authority experiment deceived participants into believing that they were participating in a learning and memory experiment where shocks are administered following a wrong answer. During the experiment, participants were convinced that they had potentially administered a lethal shock to another participant who was actually a Confederate working with the research team. Next, Zimbardo's Stanford prison experiment saw participants simulate a prison environment by being assigned to the role of guard or prisoner. With encouragement from experimenters, guards committed psychological and physical abuses, leading to the study ultimately being stopped early. Finally, the Tuskegee syphilis study was a longitudinal study into the treatment of syphilis that denied valuable treatment to participants even when a cure was made available decades into the study. The disastrous ethical concerns of these experiments raised national public concern over the treatment of research participants. The Belmont Report, published in 1979, mandated a set of policies to address these concerns. These three policies include beneficence and non-maleficence, maintaining a rule to maximize the benefit of the results while minimizing any harm done throughout the study. Justice. Research should be done to benefit parts of the population equally. Scientists should self-monitor and understand their abilities and competence. Respect for people's rights and dignity. People should be viewed as autonomous agents capable of making their own decisions. Those without the ability to be autonomous should be heavily protected. A contemporary example of questionable psychological research is the 2012 Bond et al. Facebook paper, which analyzed different techniques to encourage voting behavior. Results found that showing users images of friends who had voted was more likely to spur real-life voting behavior. This experiment raised some concerns regarding the influence of research on outcomes such as nationwide electoral processes. This study raised some pertinent questions about the respect afforded to participants' dignity in the study and the integrity of the research team. In conclusion, psychology has a long history of ethical controversy. Experiments during the mid 20th century spurred the creation of safeguards for participants. Even with these safeguards in place, psychological research still poses some controversial questions regarding ethics.